is Urica Rose. I'm from Elmont, New York, but I was born in Houston, Texas. The name Urica Rose is my middle name. My middle name was originally just supposed to be Rose, but when the doctor put the birth papers in front of my mom, she scribbled down Urica in front of Rose. And that's where the name Urica Rose came from. I've been singing for about 4.5 years now. I didn't know I could sing, and the story goes, I was on the phone with a friend and my mom was in the other room, and she called me in her room and she said, "Who was that little girl singing on TV?" And I said, "That was me, Mom." She said, "No way, then sing for me right now." And I sung for her, and that was the first time she ever heard me sing, and she was like, "Oh my God, why did you never tell me you could sing?" And I just told her, like, I didn't think I could sing. And that's basically where the story got started. I've been writing for about 3.5 years. I actually started writing after my grandparents passed. I was kind of like in a messed up place at the time because my little cousin was murdered. Then 3 months later, my grandfather passed. Then 3 weeks later, my grandmother passed. And at that point, life had just become too real to me. So I would just find my escape through music. I would just sit up and find myself not being able to sleep all night, and I would just sit up and I would just start writing poems and stories and just anything I could just to find an escape. My grandmother's death probably had to be the hardest because it was just so unexpected. Like one day I'm on the phone with her telling her I love her, and then the next I'm at her funeral, and it was just too real for me. And sometimes I have regrets because she never got to hear me sing, and I just hope, you know, where she is now, she's looking down and she can hear me and she's proud of me and proud of what I'm doing. I was never a shy person. I was always one of those kids that wanted to dance. I always seen myself like on stage performing. I thought I was going to be a performer, but I thought it was for dance. I know my cousins probably hate me for this, but when we were younger, I always wanted to have dance contests, and I would force them to do it. Like I would force them to participate and to dance. And I know we can look back at it and laugh now, but then it was not funny. They did not like it one bit. But I always like thrived, I guess, on performing, but I just never thought that I'd be a singer. If I'm not doing music, I'm either eating or watching some kind of scary movies or murder mysteries or something of that nature, or playing with my dog Jordan, who's definitely like the love of my life. He puts a smile on my face like all the time. I can talk about him all day. And Sundays. Sundays is family day. Every Sunday me and my family get together and we have like this huge dinner, and you know, my family is definitely like my biggest supporters, and I love them to death for it. We're at my high school, Elmont Memorial. I grew up basically in the town of Elmont, and it's funny because when you're in high school, you can't wait to get out, and then once you're out, you can't wait to get back in. I have a lot of memories here, walking to school every morning in the blistering cold, kind of like today. A lot of me and my cousins went here. It was like 4 of us that went here at one time. So it was very interesting. My high school years were very interesting. I missed them a lot. Some of my musical influences are people like Aretha Franklin, Joan Jett, Janis Joplin, James Brown, Prince, definitely. And I chose these people mainly because of their vocal capabilities, their conviction, their showmanship. I mean, there were so many different reasons why I chose them, but mainly because they weren't afraid to be themselves as a person or as an artist, and I really respect that. My message to other aspiring artists out there is to not let fear hold you back. You know, sometimes you may tell yourself, like, I'm not really good at this, or I'm not really sure about this. That's fear talking, and honestly, you need to just put it to the side, because if I didn't put my fears aside, I probably wouldn't even be singing right now. I wouldn't be sitting here doing this, you know, interview. So definitely don't let fear hold you back from your dreams and what you're aspiring to do. The journey to my music was definitely a pilgrimage, because I got to a point where I didn't want to sing anymore, and I had a discussion with my manager, and I told her, like, I just want to be a writer. I don't want to sing anymore. And she asked me why, and I told her. And I said, because it's very frustrating trying to explain to people the sound that you want, and they just don't get it. Only me and my manager knew the sound that we wanted, but neither one of us played instruments or made beats, so it was very difficult to try to translate and explain to other people. And then she asked me, like, do you really just want to be a writer? And I said, yes. And she said, okay, but the stuff that you write, do you really believe that you can find someone to sing it and bring across the message that you're writing about the way that you can? And I said, no. And so from there, I knew that I had to just, push forward and keep going, because it was something I didn't want to put down, that I love to do. After I decided that I still wanted to sing, I met the People of Exile. And that's where my musical journey began, because I finally got to express myself musically the way that I've been hearing in my head. And I definitely thank them for that. So last year alone, I did about 52 shows. And as a new artist, it was slightly overwhelming, but I definitely enjoyed every minute of being on stage. One of the shows I remember most was my show at Six Flags. I was so excited to have my own day at Six Flags. But another thing I remember about it was that it was so hot that day. It was too hot to be in the park that day. It was like 104 degrees. And just to get through each show, each song, I had to have water splashed in my face and poured down my back, because I really felt like I was about to pass out. But it was fun, because me and my manager, we had a water fight. I was sitting down on the bench just talking to her, trying to cool down after I finished. And then she just threw a cup of water in my face. And I couldn't do anything but just sit there and laugh. But then later on, I got her back. We don't have to show that clip, but she knows what happened. The next show that I remember and I love was the Not My Hood concert. I did the theme song for them, but I loved the concert mainly because of the cause. It was against youth violence, against gun violence, and I think kids need more positive avenues, and that program is there for the kids to have like more after school programs, anything to basically keep them off the streets and away from anything negative. And I'm a strong supporter of of the kids, because they are our future. And I think it's nice when the community actually recognizes the kids and tries to get back to them. Where do I see myself in a couple of years? Well, I see myself doing exactly what I'm doing right now, doing what I love and having fun and making the people that I love proud. I don't really have any real expectations, because I believe whatever's going to happen is already written in the stars.